Yo, if it looks like I'm lying down, I am. I'm on a porch swing. I didn't get any sleep last night. Okay, so I see this all the time. And over the past 2.5 years of doing this, I've found that I can pretty much pick out who's probably going to do well and who isn't. Um, and I'm going to tell you how I do that and how I know. And I can tell by talking to you pretty quickly if you are going to kick some ass or if you're going to struggle and probably fail. Um, Before I talk about that, I want to talk about Prague a little bit. Uh, so, when I talked about the trip and the surgery and everything in my first video, I specifically said, um, don't send me applications to go with me, but several people have. And so I just want to say, like, you know, I kind of almost wish that I hadn't mentioned it, but I haven't made any decisions about that, and I'm not even going to be booking the trip for like another month. And again, it'll be somebody, that I know in real life and know pretty well. So it's not like personal at all. It's not like I'm picking my favorite person to take my, you know, it's not like that. It's like a very specific thing that I need a very specific person for. Um, yeah. Anyway, uh, okay. So, what is this thing that I use? What is this predictor that tells me this person is going to be successful? They're going to lose weight and get healthy, or this person is probably not. All right. So, there are people that come to me and they're like, or they come to the group and they're like, hey, I really need to lose weight. I'm obese or I'm very overweight and I've got to get this done. And obviously, you know how to do it. And then after that, there are two paths that people tend to take. One is tell me what to do. Just tell me what I need to know to do it. Just give me the instructions so that I can start. A lot of these people have already jumped into a longer fast without getting into ketosis. And sometimes when they come to me, they've already started like a 72, not even knowing what the fuck's going on. Then there are the people who come into the group and they want to learn. They start watching videos, they start reading shit, they're looking at articles, they're commenting on them. They are interested in learning about why it works. Okay? A little bit at least of the science behind it. How to do ketosis, how to get into ketosis, how to be successful in the long run. When I say, hey, you need to get into ketosis before you fast, they're like, okay, why? Let me figure that out. If you aren't willing to put in at least bare minimum a couple of hours reading, watching shit, and learning, you are not going to be successful in the long run. Because the first time, or maybe the second time, or maybe the third time, but there's going to be a time when you are tempted. And if you don't know the reason why eating that one Oreo cookie or that one potato chip is going to completely mess you up, if you don't know why, you're going to eat it. And the reason for that is that we all grew up with the calorie paradigm. Okay. We all grew up hearing, well, a calorie is a calorie. You can eat, if you only eat 3 Oreo cookies a day, even though it's bad, you're still going to lose weight. And we aren't told the actual biochemistry behind that. and why, over the long run, calories in, calories out has been a colossal failure. This advice that we've gotten from everywhere, that's just ubiquitous at this point for the past 50 years or so, has coincided with the obesity epidemic. If that was a proper understanding of obesity, then we wouldn't have an obesity epidemic. It's just like Jason Fung says, once we start to understand a disease, we start to see it decline. So when we figured out that AIDS was caused by the HIV virus, then you started to see a sharp decline the in the infection rate of AIDS, right? If we had a proper understanding, if this calorie model was a proper understanding of obesity, if thermodynamics, energy in, energy out, it's totally an energy balance problem. If that were correct, we wouldn't have an obesity epidemic. If there's a popular public understanding of the causes of a disease, you see a decline. All we have seen is an increase. That alone tells us that the energy balance model is flawed. Okay. And I don't care how many gym bros want to dogpile me on a thread and be like, you dumb bitch. All that matters is calories. They're not, it's like, again, this is something that Jason Fung says, saying, oh, calories in, calories out is like saying, oh, the reason why Bill Gates is rich is because he takes in a lot more money than he puts out. Well, yeah, that's technically true, but it actually doesn't tell you anything about why Bill Gates is rich. It's like saying that a plane crashes because of gravity, because there's not enough lift and too much, right? Like, it doesn't actually tell you why the plane crashed. Okay, but what caused too little lift under the wings? What's the cause? And we now know that the cause of energy imbalance is hormones. And the understanding is starting to shift, especially among people like me who've had to save our own lives. But all these gym bros, and that's the difference between me and these dudes, is they're trying to build muscle. I was trying to save my life. My stakes were higher. Okay, your stakes are higher if you're obese. So you don't have the luxury of having an a flawed understanding of how weight gain happens and how weight loss happens. You don't have the luxury of just saying, tell me the basics of what I need to know. I can tell you what to do, but if you don't understand why you're doing it, it's not going to be enough. And eventually you're going to fail. I've seen it over and over and over. I can send somebody a book, and I have people who are in really rough shape. I'm like, here's the diabetes code, read it. They don't read it. They're dying. They're in ICU. Their blood sugar is uncontrolled. Their insulin is probably through the roof. Although their doctor's not even checking that, because the popular understanding, even among physicians, of diabetes is that it's a glucose issue. They're not even looking at insulin. So knowledge is the beginning of success. If you aren't willing to put in the time to learn this stuff, and I'm not saying you have to have the level of understanding that I have, because it's taken me years, many, many years. Even before I started fasting and really diligently learning about that, I was interested in nutrition and learning about it for 10 years before that. I started learning about it in 2009 when I was obese and nothing was working. And I was like, why can't I do this? And I discovered, and I was going through horrible health issues, and I started learning, I discovered carnivore, and I started learning about insulin and learning about, why meat isn't the devil and all these things. I was interested in that shit for 10 years before I even started doing this shit. I have like nearly 13 years of obsession with this subject. Not everybody needs that. But in order to be successful, you have to have a base of knowledge that you can draw from in your brain, so that when you see that Oreo, you're not just thinking, oh, it's only a little bit of sugar. It's only a little bit of calories. It doesn't matter. On the calorie paradigm, who cares? It's only a few calories. But we know better. We know that one Oreo is going to take you out of ketosis. Your insulin is going to go up. Insulin inhibits fat lipolysis. It's going to take you another 24 hours to get back into fat burning mode. Meanwhile, your liver has had to metabolize, right? And now you're hungry. Why? Because your insulin went up. Now you're having trouble fasting. Now you're more likely to eat a bunch more Oreos. So you have to learn. You have to learn at least a little bit. I'm not saying that you have to go read 7 books and watch, 100 hours of YouTube like I did. But I mean, I've read way more than 7 books, but you have to invest some time and energy in learning this shit. And that's why I created this group. Okay. The group is a peer support group. The group is there for me to pop in and answer questions and post live videos and stuff. But it's also there because I've made it a repository for information, and I try not to put too much in there. I'm not in there every single day posting this JAMA article, this whatever. But there's a featured section you can go through and watch, and you can read. Like, I even have a topic section where I've labeled shit. You can look through and say, oh, getting started. Let me start there. And it has the stuff that you need to know. Because if all you do is like, oh, this bitch says don't eat for 3 days, I'll just do that, you're going to fail. You're going to fail for a variety of reasons. You're going to fail. So, if you're not willing to devote at least a few hours to watch some videos and read some stuff, your heart's not in it. And that's why I've got people coming back to me who've had crazy success in the very beginning because, I'll just fast, and they lose some weight. And then inevitably they go back to eating absolute trash. If you know enough, you are not. Hi, baby. Yeah, I'll make you a salad. Yeah, I'll be right there. So I gotta go. My kid wants a salad. Um, so I'll cut this off now, but bottom line, that is the number one predictor. If I see someone who wants to learn and who wants to understand, I'm like, they're off to a good start. They have a good shot at this. They're invested. They're invested. This is why investment is everything, right? There's some people who come to me for help and I help them. They come back to me for help and I help them. And they keep messing up because they don't read what I tell them to read. They don't watch what I tell them to watch. And it's not a huge list. It'll be like 5 or 6 things. And I personalize their recommendations, and then they come back to me and I say, okay, I'll help you again. This time you have to pay me. Why? Well, because you have to invest. All right. It has to hurt a little bit. You have to think, oh shit, I paid that chick X amount of money. I don't want to waste it. Right. I've learned that, like, the friends and family that I helped for free or at a steep discount, right? They tend to fail because it was free. It didn't hurt, right? When you spend a big ass chunk of money, or it's big to you, or at least enough to sting, you're like, oh, I got to do that. I paid for it, right? It's like your gym membership or your Beachbody subscription or whatever. You're like, shit, I'm paying, $100 a month or whatever it is for that. I should use it. So, this is why, if people want like coaching or really specific shit, I just don't do it for free anymore because I'm wasting their time, not just mine. I'm wasting their time. If you're not invested, you don't invest. Bottom line. And it's the same thing with investing the energy to learn, you know. You just have to do it. And if I see that you're not willing to invest money, you're not willing to invest the time and effort to learn, if you just want it to come to you, that's the thing. We're also entitled. We just want it to come to us. Like, just give it to me, right? Just give me the XYZ. Give it to me for free. And I don't have to sit down and do any thinking or learning. Like, just put them in my brain. And guess what? It will mean nothing to you. And you're not going to do well in the long run. So, if you're serious, be serious. You're your actions, how do I put this? We're always telling ourselves things with our actions and our words. Like, we're not just telegraphing to other people, but to ourselves. When you make yourself sit down and watch a Gary Taubes or Jason Fung video, or come here, baby, or or read an article or a book, you're telling yourself this matters.
Hi.
Mommy's doing a video. I'm almost done.
You're so funny.
You're funny. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off now because Clementine is here. But thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Say bye.